We've arrived at the Cannes Yacht Festival to check out catamarans. And we have discovered plenty and made a special feature completely dedicated to catamarans. And we're going to present an entire series. So if you're interested in multi-hulls, be sure to follow along with us. Cannes Yachting Festival 2024. This is the first exhibition of the nautical salon season. So, the season officially begins right here in Cannes in September, and it's going to be concluded in April at Lagoon, with the one and only prestigious event that is fully and uniquely dedicated exclusively to catamarans. But we see many catamarans here in Cannes too. Just think there are even 100 boats, 100 catamarans displayed in the same place. That's not a small number. 100 multi-hulls indeed, because the vast majority are catamarans. But there are also some trimarans. We came here specifically to show you these boats, and we will show you a curated selection of boats that we believe are the most interesting and that best represent their respective market niche. The catamaran market is divided into several specialized niches, and we have taken one or two for each niche. To do this special, clearly we need a sponsor, and this time we have a great sponsor. A sponsor you know well because they follow us in many of our activities. The NSS Group is very present in the world of catamarans because they are the leading European dealer of Lagoon. They sell a lot of Lagoon catamarans, effectively selling them not only normally but also through the comprehensive management programs we've talked about many times. Moreover, they are authorized dealers for Beneteau and possess the most extensive charter fleet throughout Italy. I'm going to leave you with them now for a quick 30 seconds. And immediately after, we'll start to look at the boats. And the very first of these is going to be the impressive Sunreef 60 Eco catamaran.
When you think of a sailing holiday, think of us. Think NSS. We have always been working to offer you the best possible experience. Our company is a Beneteau importer and the first Lagoon dealer in Europe. Our charter fleet offers boats that you won't find anywhere else. The newest, the biggest, and the most gorgeous. If you want to go sailing, trust us. NSS Group.
As the first boat in these special catamarans at Cannes 2024, I will show you the Sunreef Eco 60. It's not a brand new boat, it's 3 years old, but it's a very important boat because it's the first model of the Eco series, the pioneering series. They place a very strong and significant emphasis on the ecological and sustainable aspects of their catamarans. And here with me is Martha, who is the head of the press office for Sunreef. I'm going to ask her a question regarding what eco signifies. So Martha, what does eco mean?
Hi Maurizio. Eco means that they're fully electric and with solar panels and with air conditioning, which is very much sufficient and eco. And it's fully autonomous. If you go under the sail, you can go wherever you want.
Sailing without noise and without polluting the boat is really a very beautiful and appealing thing. The boat is precisely 18.40 meters in length and 10.20 meters wide, if I'm not mistaken. In all this large volume, what is there? What do I find?
You have here 4 cabins for the guests, 1 for the crew in this case, and you have fully customized interior design.
Completely customized for them means really completely customized. That is, you decide everything, absolutely anything, from the upholstery of the sofa to what you will find on the walls of the last bathroom. Martha, I would like to talk to you about your solar panels because I know you have solar panels of your own production.
Our Shipyard, they're patented and we produce them from scratch. We do it all the system in our Shipyard in-house.
So since they couldn't find them on the market, they made them on their own, patented them, and now these solar panels that you are seeing right now on the hull, as you can see, are an integral part of the hull. They are almost invisible. They seem like an aesthetic element of the boat, but in fact they are genuine solar panels that have a mere 1 millimeter thickness and on this boat so equipped have the capacity to generate 20.5 kilowatts of power. Okay, one last question. Can you give us a rough idea of the price of the boat?
The idea is roughly 4.5 million euros.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you, Maurizio.
And now instead, let's just move on to see something a little bit smaller. Now we're entering the world of Lagoon, the largest and most renowned catamaran builder globally. Lagoon comes to the Cannes Yacht Festival with two novelties, the Lagoon 43 and the Lagoon 60, which we will see right after. To help illustrate the two boats, I have here with me Simone Morelli, who is the CEO of the NSS Group, and they are the premier European dealers of the Lagoon brand, additionally representing Beneteau, and the group includes a variety of other activities, including the largest charter company that we have operating in Italy. Hi, Simone.
Hi Maurizio and welcome aboard.
Simone, so can you tell us more about this boat, which along with the Lagoon 60 seems truly innovative and exciting?
Yes, it is very innovative. It inherits a legacy that is difficult to improve because the Lagoon 42 has been a huge success for the shipyard, more than 1,100 boats built. So this boat is the iPhone of catamarans. An absolutely stunning boat. When I first saw it, I too was thoroughly and genuinely impressed. First step on board, cockpit. It's huge, the side openings that allow, when docked as we are now in what's known as alongside mooring, to easily disembark onto land. The innovation in the tender lifting system features this very attractive and functional relaxation area, and then progressing further into the spacious cockpit. And within the dinette, you'll find this cockpit dinette blend that signifies a step forward in the practical use of space.
It's very beautiful, really very beautiful.
And above all, it allows, let's say, with the modularity of the tables, to have extended tables inside, coffee area, or an expanded table outside depending on the use, and it can comfortably accommodate 10 people. Very interesting.
Listen, what about the cabins?
The cabins are larger than those of the 42 because the volumes of the boat have been significantly increased in the hull. You can easily see it by looking at it from the outside. You have practically the same volumes in both the bow cabin and in the stern cabin, essentially. But the great innovation compared to the 42 has been the bathroom located both forward and stern, each equipped with a separate shower stall and featuring the smart solution of a retractable sink, which is very nice and, in my opinion, very practical in use. It will be successful.
And it gives us a lot of space too.
Exactly. It gives space and, above all, let's say, meets the increasingly common request to have a bathroom with a separate shower stall for each cabin. So it goes right in that direction. And finally, let's say, but not least is this, the flybridge, which is truly a full-fledged flybridge, can comfortably be used while sitting, and it's the most used area on the boat because, with the increasing heat of the last few years, it's become the most ventilated and coolest part. The higher up you are, the better it feels, certainly.
Last question, what's the price?
The price of such a boat is around 700,000 euros. It generally costs a bit more than the 42 did, but in my opinion, is money well spent.
It's also a significantly larger boat. Thank you very much, Simone.
Thank you so much, Maurizio, and see you next time.
And with that, we've just finished seeing the Lagoon 43. And now let's move on over 10 meters. Still accompanied by Simone, and let's go see the Lagoon 60. So here we are right on board the Lagoon 60, the second novelty from the Lagoon Shipyard at the Cannes Yacht Festival. This boat, just like the other, is quite innovative. It's full of new features. And for this innovative boat as well, I have Simone Morelli right here ready to show it to us. Hello, Simone, again, since we just saw each other a second ago.
Hello, Maurizio. Welcome back on board, this time on a slightly larger boat. A fresh attraction of the show, the Lagoon 60 featuring a cockpit. It's incredible, widened by these wings that open. This novelty that is very appealing to everyone who sees it, but especially to children who already imagine using it for diving. Then another important feature is this gangway, which you only see on the larger models, but is a convenience that often goes unnoticed on slightly smaller boats, but it's an incredible convenience. And then the great novelty is that we are on a boat that is finally all on one level without any steps, which is extremely important for both comfort and overall usability. And the very large and comfortable bow door with the opening that connects the dinette to the bow, it's a fantastic happy hour area. Because it's even larger than the Lagoon 65, it's exceptionally comfortable with plenty of space, and right in front of the net, it's an absolutely magical place to relax and enjoy an aperitif at sunset.
I saw that the cabins are also very beautiful. This model has 4 cabins in the owner's version. I saw the owner's cabin, it's beautiful.
Exactly. The owner's cabin is very similar to that of the 65, even though we are on a slightly smaller boat, but the cabin is very, very large. But also the bow cabins, and even that. Let's just say the third cabin is quite an important cabin. The feature of this is then the side kitchen. So, the kitchen, just like in the 65, with its small crew mess, that can also be conveniently used by the owner, here to our left, is very beautiful, spacious, and modern, truly resembling a home kitchen in every way possible. But the additional feature is that this version also includes a small bar area located right up here behind us, which is incredibly nice and highly functional, as on a boat, it's typically the kitchen that gets the most frequent use by those on board. It's the area that, unfortunately, is always the messiest on the boat, but during happy hour, it's also enjoyable to socialize with friends and prepare an aperitif in front of everyone. It's always nice.
Especially when you have such a large opening that the dinette and cockpit are almost seamlessly in perfect communication with each other.
Exactly, they are all one.
Thank you very much, Simone. We now move on to a different kind of boat, completely different. I'm going to take you to see a boat that's entirely focused on speed. Come along with me now. The sun has come out. We've taken off our jackets. Let's leave the world of the Lagoon and enter another world, the world of gunboats, which is a world that speaks to us of speed, of all carbon boats equipped with advanced high-end technology, but perfectly combined with interiors that are typical of a luxury cruising boat. So let's now go and see the Gunboat 72. We are at the Gunboat stand and we have come to see the Gunboat 72, the very latest model from this shipyard, a shipyard that was born in the United States but then was acquired by the French group Grand Large. It was bought and then meticulously constructed by the French group Grand Large, right beside the other shipyards that are also fully owned by the Grand Large group. And here right with me, I have the general manager of the shipyard, who's actually going to show us around the boat. Hi, Benoit.
Hi, Maurizio.
Could you share some details about this boat? It's indeed a very beautiful boat.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a bit of a unique positioning for the shipyard and for this boat in particular, in the sense that we are combining performance and comfort. Many shipyards will tell you they do that, except that numbers don't lie. So I'll give you just a simple number, 72 foot. 27 tons. Okay, so there's no other boat with a fly bridge at 70 foot plus that is in that sort of weight. Hence, as you know, the weight is the performance. And so as a light boat, it's a performance boat.
What is the level of customization that I can have on this boat?
Pretty much anything that you see or you touch, you can customize. So we're pretty open. The limits of the customization relate to the shape of the boat and the structural components.
This is a full carbon boat. The bulkheads are made of prepreg and it's a high technology boat. So what should I expect from this boat in terms of cruising speed?
Yeah, I think the main difference is that you're going to be sailing when all of the others are going to be motoring. Let's say that we will be sailing at wind speed and above from 7.5 knots onwards of true wind.
Can you give us an idea of the price?
Yeah, price doesn't really matter. It's a beautiful object, as you know. Now, let's say starting around 9 plus. That's where you go.
Okay. Thank you very much, Benoit.
Sure,
And so we've also presented to you a boat that I'm quite fond of, as it's an exceptionally fast boat, and steering it would surely be an immense pleasure. Now let's go see the next catamaran. Thira 80, the impressive flagship of the French shipyard Fountaine Pajot, one of the most renowned and respected shipyards in the catamaran sector. To speak about this boat, I have here with me today Giovanni Tarantino from Race Nautica. They are the exclusive importers of this brand for the whole Tyrrhenian Sea, islands included. Hi there, Giovanni.
Hello, Maurizio. Good morning and welcome aboard.
Giovanni, it's an incredibly beautiful and extremely large boat, but just how big is it?
So, to be able to stay, the pleasure craft is officially certified at 23.98 meters with a total width of 11.09 meters.
So 23.98, that is 24, by 11.09 in width. Imagine how big it can be, but you can see it in these images. Why 23.98? Because with just 2 more centimeters, it reaches 24 meters and becomes a pleasure yacht. And the situation becomes really very complicated. Listen, I know that the boat has a high level of customization and I can make it a bit the way I want.
Obviously, it's the owner who pays, so the owner can fully and completely personalize every aspect of it, from the color and essence of the woods and fabrics to the exact type of layout desired. Basically, to explain it to you more quickly, the boat has 4 modules on the right and 4 modules on the left. So you can have up to 8 cabins for the charter version, and in this particular case, we utilize modules to create a stunning owner's version. It's called Maestro. Plus, we've also got an additional beautiful VIP cabin for guests, and then you can have the kitchen above or the kitchen below. So anyway, the owner is, as you know, the one who actually pays, can definitely, along with his wife, fully meet his needs by making personalized decisions.
Very large flybridge and also a very large aft cockpit. But what is most surprising is definitely this space. The forward cockpit, Giovanni, and yet there are no nets to be seen.
Well, at this particular height, to be completely honest, there's absolutely no need for nets because we can easily withstand the sea and the waves anyway.
You're suggesting that with such a large hull, even when it comes down from the waves, it doesn't slam hard.
Yes, we don't have the problem of water on the nets.
Perfect. Last question. Can you give us an idea of how much the boat costs?
More than an idea, I can give you a starting price. The starting price is about 6 million euros. And then it naturally changes based on the selection of optional extras that we decide upon.
Exactly what I was looking for then. I'll stop by your place later and write you the check.
Absolutely, why not? An exceptional discount to Maurizio Ancilotti.
Perfect. Listen, instead now let's return to more human-like things. I'm aware that you are about to release, or rather, you've gone ahead and launched it these days, a new model that will be ready when?
It's actually the new 41 that's taking over the place of the Isla 40, but actually it's an entirely different boat, so thoroughly and carefully redesigned with large internal living volumes. We're going to have the aft cabins with the beds arranged slightly diagonally, which results in an impressively large space. Even at the bow, it's noticeably more voluminous compared to the Isla, which makes it an entirely different boat altogether. It has many solar panels, so it's really a boat worth discovering because it deserves it. And the price, if we wanted to talk about price, it is still comparable to the Isla 40, offered at the same price point as the Isla 40.
Am I wrong? If I actually share my true impression with you, my impression is that not just Fountaine Pajot, but actually every single shipyard is now desperately attempting to lower the prices that they had previously raised too high. So now what do? I make a boat, call it a 41, to justify a lower price, but in reality I give it a larger volume that is much closer to that of a 42 than a 40, offering more space and comfort.
I can confirm that the volumes are indeed of a 42 feet size. In every aspect it's a 42 feet, with the price of the current 40. So yeah, it's actually possible that your intuition might be right, that the shipyards are now actively working to stabilize the pricing, in an effort to avoid any further price hikes.
Perfect, that's great. I really thank you, and I'll see you the next time.
Thank you, and thanks to all of you.
And now let's move on to check out a different catamaran. Now I'm excited to take you to see this catamaran that I really like, and I would definitely call it smart. This catamaran has a lot of tiny details that are incredibly important for us who sail. Unfortunately, in this special feature I can't show you all of them because we have a limited amount of time available. But at the very least I'm eager to personally introduce you to the boat, the ITA 1549, so come along with me. We are on board the ITA 1549, the evolution of the first model of the ITA Catamarans shipyard. It's a shipyard that, in Italy, although it is a 100% Italian shipyard, it is not very well known because they predominantly focus on selling to international markets abroad. It's a shame because it's a shipyard that makes very high-quality boats. I personally like them a lot. Right here with me I have Sonia, who is the commercial manager of the shipyard. Who's going to show us the boat? Hi, Sonia.
Hi, Maurizio. Welcome on board.
Thank you very much. Listen, Sonia, we said ITA 1549 evolution of the first model. I know that you unfortunately cannot make bigger boats at the moment. Since you're far from the sea and unable to transport them easily, I hope you'll soon find a warehouse because I can't wait to see your 60-65-foot models. Can you describe the boat to us?
Absolutely. So as you can clearly see, the 1549 is essentially the enhanced, upgraded and refined version of the 1499. A design for the owner featuring an owner's hull, owner's cabin, dedicated bathroom, and a separate hull for the guests, all while maintaining the same high level of technology and sailing performance. And honestly, that's ingrained in our DNA. And so here...
Well, certainly this is a very fast boat. Indeed, it's a boat. For cruising, it's an exceptionally comfortable boat, but it also has fast hull. So the side hulls are not particularly wide because it's a boat specifically designed to achieve great speed and performance. So, the great performance is achieved through the use of great technology.
Yes, we are always striving for continuous improvement, especially with valuable input from our ship owners who are experienced sailors. And we always try to make sure to elevate the standards for each boat.
Very good, perfect. Sorry for interrupting you. Listen, the last question, the price?
We begin with a base price of 1,368,000 plus VAT for the 1549 model, and then any additional configuration is actually quoted separately.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you, Maurizio.
And with that, we've just now also concluded showing you the ITA 1549, which I particularly enjoyed. Now let's go see the next boat. One of the boats I found most interesting here at the Cannes Yacht Festival is the Aventura 45, which moreover is one of the few world premieres we have here at this show. A boat built in Tunisia in a shipyard that employs a significant number of French staff. But the designer is French and so is the ownership, making it a French shipyard that has strategically relocated to Tunisia. Here with me is Jacopo. Jacopo is from the multi-company, one of the two companies that import the brand into Italy directly. Hi, Jacopo.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
So, Jacopo, this is a world premiere, and it's the very first time you are publicly presenting the 45-footer.
Exactly, it's the first show where we successfully managed to exhibit the largest boat in our range, measuring 13.5 meters in length and 7.60 in width. There are many different cabin configurations, ranging from a minimum of 3 in the owner's version to even 6 in the charter version. Indeed, there's space for a crew cabin and a bathroom if it's necessary.
How many cabins does the model we have here have?
This is an owner's version and therefore has 4 cabins, with an entire hull dedicated to the owner and a total of 3 bathrooms.
I saw that there is also a very nice flybridge and a forward cockpit.
Yes, it has 2 dedicated relaxation areas in addition to the cockpit, which is exceptionally large.
Before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you about the engines. What cruising speed can it comfortably reach under motor, and what speed can I realistically expect under sail?
Sure, 245 or 257 horsepower engines are the 2 possible engine options. Under motor, it can reach up to 9 knots, and under sail, up to 12. So we sail very well, even when relying solely on sail power.
Very good. Listen, one last question. The price?
580,000 euros for the standard version, taxes included.
Thank you very much, Jacopo.
Thank you for visiting.
And with that, we've also shown you the Aventura 45. Let's move on to the next catamaran. As the final catamaran in this special, I want to introduce you to the Nautitech 44, a highly significant boat for this shipyard because it represents a major turning point. Up until a few years ago, Nautitech had a reputation for producing very fast hulls. Indeed, they are somewhat narrower hulls that sail exceptionally well, very durable boats. Because they had to sail in all kinds of seas, but inside they were not particularly well finished or beautiful. 2 or 3 years ago, the shipyard decided and did just that. It went from this level to this level. They made very refined, exceptionally beautiful boats, truly pleasant to look at. The Nautitech 44 is the first model of this significant turnaround. Right here with me is Angelo Bacci, who currently is the importer of this brand in Italy. And it's with him that I'm going to talk about the Nautitech 44. Hi, Angelo.
Welcome aboard, Maurizio.
So what I said is correct?
Absolutely correct. About 3 years ago when the 44 came out, there was a total turnaround at the Nautitech shipyard. New designs, new architects really did an important aesthetic job. After that, the architects also followed the construction of the boat. So the finishes have significantly improved, everything is improved, truly elevating the boat to a higher level compared to the rest of the catamarans of this size in the world.
It's true, the boat is really very beautiful. Can you describe it to us?
The boat can be had with either 2 cabins or 3 cabins. With 2 bathrooms, 1 per hull, there is also the option of having 4 cabins on the boat. But that extends a bit beyond the owner's world.
Yes, because this is really an owner's boat.
Specifically for the owner, the entire port or starboard hull is crafted for exceptional comfort and superior sailing performance. What can I say? We encourage customers to try the boat because its true qualities can only be experienced at sea, and it is superior to everything else in the catamaran market of this size currently in circulation. Naturally, our effort is to show the boat to the customer and have them try it. Because After they have seen and tried it, the customer is convinced of the quality of the product.
If I want to see it and try it, then what should I do?
We have 2 locations in Italy where we have these catamarans. One in Tuscany, at Cala de' Medici, and the other in Rimini, where we have, also there, we have another new 44, and that's where we can try it out.
So it's really not that far off. Basically, it's pretty simple. Listen, just one more question. What's the cost of the boat?
698 and 900 euro considering that. I want you to notice, the boat is indeed very well equipped. With this price, we can go to sea, and since we are at sea, so the accessories are very few, especially when compared to what is customary in the nautical world at the moment.
Wonderful. Considering this price, we'll be ready to set sail after we've included the VAT in the total. We really appreciate the tour that you've provided us, and we'll see you at the upcoming boat.
Until next time, thank you, Maurizio.
And now instead we are going to conclude the special. The Cannes Catamarans special we've presented ends here. We have shown you a series of boats, and I really hope that you found them interesting. I really liked them. Unfortunately, there wasn't time to delve into all of them because otherwise we would have made a very long video. I hope that in the future there will be a chance to dive deeper into each boat, exploring them one by one. On that note, all that's left is for me to extend my heartfelt thanks to our sponsor, the NSS Group, for their support and for allowing us to create this video. I also want to thank you for the attention and time you've given us. And I'll be seeing you in the upcoming video featuring iCAT SVN Catamarans very soon.